Tamer works in tiling the floor. Tamer's story began when he traveled to Qatar. Tamer took the World Cup matches as a justification for his travel to Qatar. The truth behind his travel was that he wanted to work in Qatar. When he arrived, he had nowhere to sleep at, and he did not have the money to buy food. Tamer kept walking in the streets of Qatar until he met two Egyptian brothers. Tamer introduced himself to them, and when they found out that he was also Egyptian, they offered him to stay in their house until he manages his affairs and gets a job. Tamer went with the two brothers to their house and found a young Egyptian man in the house who also lived with the two brothers. The three men treated Tamer as a friend. They used to take him with them wherever they went, and they used to spend money on him and buy him everything he needed, even food and drink. Especially since he was still without work and without money, they were even trying to find him a job. Tamer stayed in the house of the Egyptian until the end of the month of Ramadan. At the end of the month, the men told Tamer that he must return to Egypt since he did not find a job in Qatar. They reassured him that they would help him return to his country. One of the three men went and booked a ticket for Tamer and told him that his travel time was the fourth day of Eid at 6 a.m. Tamer did not want to return to Egypt, but he could not ask to stay with them because they tolerated him enough and did not lack anything for him during his stay with them. Tamer decided to steal the money and run away. As he knew where they kept the money, Tamer bought a sleeping pill and put it in the tea for the two brothers. Tamer did not know that the medicine was not very strong. The two brothers woke up and saw Tamer stealing their money. They quarreled with him, but their bodies were too weak from the effect of the medicine they had taken. Tamer stabbed them to death with a knife that was in the house. After the two brothers died, the third man who was living with them entered the house and saw his two companions stabbed to death and their blood spread everywhere. He tried to hit Tamer, but Tamer overpowered him and stabbed him to death with the same knife. Tamer put the bodies of the three men in one room and cleaned the house. Then took the money and phones and went straight to the airport and traveled to Egypt. Immediately upon his arrival at the airport, he was arrested. Tamer realized that the Qatar police had seen the cameras and knew who was the perpetrator of the crime. Tamer confessed to his crime and is still imprisoned waiting sentencing.